Motion carries. Next then, we have a group with us from Leadership Lake Cumberland. They're working on a project they'd like to share with the court, and I'll invite whoever would like to take the podium here. I think they've got a small presentation.
We have a few members of our class here today, but I'm Jessica Phillips, and I am a member of the class. I work with Deco Architects.
I'm Kristen Whitson. I work with the Job Shop, and of course, I'm a member of the class.
I'm Brooke Coffey, and I teach at the community college, and I'm an agent with Health Markets.
And we also have Kathy Townsend here, and we have Heidi Reidner here as well, and Nikki Weaver, of course, that did the pledge for us. Thank you so much for having us today. We're just excited to be here, and thank you for your time. We're going to just share our project. We all were members of the Leadership Lake Cumberland 2020 class, and it's through the Chamber of Commerce. And as a part of that class, each year we go and visit different businesses and branches of local government and just learn as much as we can about our community here in Pulaski County. At the end of the class during graduation, we are always tasked with coming up with a community project that will positively impact Pulaski County and its citizens. So this year in January, we all met back together again after we graduated and discussed different ideas. We voted on a favorite, and this was our project this year, and we have come up with the Readers to Leaders Storybook Trail. So go ahead and advance the slide. Sorry, we need somebody to run that. So what is a storybook trail? You can take a walk along a path and read a popular children's book. The pages are displayed on plaques that are spaced out evenly along the trail. And just families just enjoy time together with their children, getting that literature in there outside of school and building those relationships and healthy habits. Storybook trails are typically placed on existing trails in parks or other popular destinations that are, close to other amenities like restrooms and sports fields, playgrounds, those sorts of things. A paved path is best, so that way it's accessible to all families. And then trail maintenance just includes wiping the plaques, weed eating around the plaques, addressing any damage, changing the stories out a few times a year. And the trails that we have researched that are already implemented in other places typically change those stories out about 4 times a year. So it's not a big ordeal changing those out, just a 4-time-a-year thing. More details. The lifespan of a storybook trail will typically last anywhere from 5 to 7 years, but can last longer. And factors like weather, wear and tear, those sorts of things just play into that lifespan. They typically have anywhere from 17 to 19 plaques. The first plaque would be a title page plaque, and then there will be around 15 shared pages of the story, and then a last page plaque. We also are going to be working with the local chapter here in Somerset of the Imagination Library, and they are, I know for sure, on the Eubank Park that we're going to be starting off our first trail with, are going to be sponsoring the very last plaque to have information out there to the community about that Imagination Library program for children birth through age 5, where they can get free books in the mail each month. Our plaques are also going to have reading tips and tasks at the bottom of the page so that the children, after they've read that page, they have something extra they can do before moving on that incorporates movement or just extra deep thinking into the story. So do 10 jumping jacks before you move on to the next plaque, or look for something green before moving on. What do you predict will happen next in the story? What is the problem of the story? Those sorts of things. And I apologize if our PowerPoint is a little off of our presentation. We do have a newer version, so we may have a few other things to share.
So for confirmed authors, we're working with some local authors from small towns, of course children's authors, to utilize their text for our trails. As a class, we voted to use Flowers of White by Kathy Jones on our first storybook trail at the Eubank Park. It's a great children's book. We all really liked it. The pictures are beautiful. I think it's going to be great for our first trail. We're in the process to gain, oh no, we already gained Imagination Library, didn't we? Oh, access to use their books. So they're trying to get it approval so we can actually use the Imagination Library books as well. And so we have several potential books that we've kind of went over. And so like A Seed is Sleepy, A Season of Flowers, Tiny Perfect Things, The Bear's Song, Over and Under the Snow, The Wish Tree, The Curious Garden, Owl Moon, In the Trees, Honeybees. So just several options that we can do for the children, things that are interesting, things that go along with nature, maybe seasons, different things like that. As far as locations, we have confirmed locations of the city of Burnside for Cole Park, and they've agreed to do the maintenance on the trails down there. Pulaski County Parks, Eubank Park, they've agreed to do the maintenance on their trail as well, and they've approved that. Firebrook Community Park voted, and they've approved for us to do a trail in their park too. And then the city of Somerset has agreed to maintain the trail at Rocky Hollow Park as well. We're also looking at other possible locations, Pulaski County Parks, as far as the Shottville Park, White Lily Community Park, Woodstock Community Park, and the Pulaski County Park, if we're able to put one there. I know it's on grant funding right now, so we're trying to see if we can get approval for that park as well. Storybook construction. So the Pulaski County Area Technology Center carpentry students will be constructing the frames for us. They're already working on that for our first Storybook trail in the Eubank Park. We're also checking with several businesses to see if we could get the wood either donated or at a discounted price. The frames will be approximately 24 by 36 and made out of treated wood. And so we're already working on that. The face will be plexiglass to cover the story insert, and we'll be able to slide in and out to insert the page. The frame will be mounted on the post with a metal bracket. The post will be 4 by 6 treated posts, 2 foot in the ground and 2.5 foot above the ground. You know, with these Storybook trails, you would think that it would be a higher plaque, but actually they're going to be pretty low to the ground, and that's because they're for children. So, you know, they wouldn't be able to read it if it was very high, so they're actually going to be very low to the ground. And then the posts will need to be concreted in the ground with Quickcrete. Modern Signs can do the install, but could possibly. They could do the install, but we would need kind of like the maintenance and stuff handled by the city and county employees. Also, if we can get the city and county employees to install those for us, it would save just a ton of money. And then we would just need them to dig a hole and pour the Quickcrete in and around the post.
On the budgeting, we estimated the total budget. If Modern Signs helps us to install it, it's $5,250 for the whole trail and 1 book. If we can get help from the city or county employees, that cuts the budget down by $2,250 per trail. We plan to do grand opening. Our first grand opening is going to be at the Eubank Park on 4th of July. And then we're going to do marketing for the other grand openings, which the Area Technology Center will be out until August, and we won't be able to continue the project until they come back in to build more frames. And total marketing per trail, we estimated at $400. We are currently raising money by sponsorship. This is a little bit different than what's depicted on the slide right now. The reason is, if someone did a book sponsor, they would only be visible for 3 months, and we want our local businesses, if they sponsor that, to be visible for the entire year. So instead, what we've agreed to do is to post it's like a plexiglass tree, and there will be different items like leaves for smaller sponsors, in honor of, in memory of, friend of the park. For a book sponsor, we would use it like a colorful book that the children could see the book, and then the parents would see the business sponsor's name or branding, or the book sponsor's name or branding. Plaque sponsors. And we have a trail naming sponsorship also. For the sponsorships, we would either do those on either side of the arch, or if we can't put in an arch, like for example at Rocky Hollow, we wouldn't be able to construct an entry arch there, so it would just be a freestanding plexiglass tree design. Sorry. Okay, so our next steps, we are going to present to any remaining parties, finalize the budget. We've already been applying for grants and seeking donors. We've had great interest generated on that. We want to finalize locations of our trails. We want to purchase and pick up the materials. Plaque construction has already started. And then install the trails, contact our schools to promote and introduce the trails, do community outreach, and move forward on that. And we appreciate your time and consideration on this.
Thank you all.
Any questions or concerns with this project, or?
Sounds like a pretty good deal.
Sounds good.
I will ask this now, once the plaques are paid for and God forbid they get vandalized, who replaces them?
We considered the potential for vandalism especially when we were thinking about sponsorships
Right, you
and
come to mind.
those considerations. We made it so that they're difficult.
Would you go to the mic? I see Ross waving his headphones.
Thank you. We considered the potential for vandalism, and we've done the best we can to ensure that they will be difficult to vandalize. The plaques are 2-foot by 3-foot plaques. They'll be encasing the Storybook trails, and in order to change anything in there, they would have to remove screws from the plaques. So the books themselves will be difficult to vandalize. There's still the potential that people could spray paint on them or try to carve in them, and we're doing our best and hoping that that won't happen. But we've considered mitigating all of the potential types of vandalism that we can do anything about.
Does that mean, just from a court perspective, I mean, if we're agreeing to do maintenance, I just want to make sure what type of maintenance that we're going to be responsible for. If it's weed eating around the post, or if it's replacing these when they do get vandalized. I don't know, it's going to be an ongoing expense that.
We're like Brooke said, we're hopeful that nobody will vandalize them, but if the event that something does happen to the actual wooden part, the plexiglass covering should protect the story, and that hopefully would be able to be scrubbed off, by the city or county employees, we hope. And then if not, if the whole thing had to be replaced, it would just have to be pulled out of the ground. And then we have, in the background, been continuing to raise money for things like that. So we have an account that's a tax exempt account. Charitable organization. It's at the bottom of the brochure I gave you. And so we have money that we've been raising, and we have excess funds if we need to construct another one and install another one, we can.
So
get that in place.
you'll be continuing applying for grants and stuff like that for
Yes, we have
upkeep
just
and all that?
recently found out, I guess it was probably a week and a half ago, that we are able to be included in a grant that will take place over 2 years, but it's a big sum of money. So so we're hoping to get that in place as well. So we'll have funds in that account to help cover if we needed to replace a particular sign. But as far as if the plexi just needed scrubbed off, hopefully that could be covered by city, county employees just cleaning it off.
So the only thing you're actually looking for the court for is for maintenance of the
Yes,
area
just
and stuff like
maintenance
that?
of the trail as far as changing those stories out, because we're just a group of different business leaders around the community that come together monthly just to try to get this project in place, because we think it'd be great for the children in the community to have. And we've seen them in other parks. A couple of us have went and visited parks in Tennessee, and they are so nice. And I think it would really draw people out to the parks and children, increasing that literacy at a young age and get them out there using those trails. So we just need those stories changed out 4 times a year, and they're just weed eating around the post.
Will there be a liaison giving us the stories to change out?
Yes.
Are we gonna, okay, so make sure we didn't leave it up to our folks
Yes, we've got a
to
committee
choose.
of people that are going to continue to stay on with the project and continue to come up with more stories and those
So
sorts of things.
they'll be the ones changing out the stories, all we do is maintain the area around it, or?
We just need the city or county employees to change those out 4 times a year with each season, and then just to weed eat around the post. So.
I mean, I'm a chamber ambassador myself, so it's a great
Yes.
project because I know all the projects. Every year there's a new project. This sounds like a really good project.
I
That can
think-
get people out in the community, out walking trails and stuff like that.
And I
so.
feel like too, it will draw other people from other places too, like these smaller communities around, like Monticello and, Russell Springs and those sort of areas will bring people into, in the summer that you're here anyways, let's go use the park. Oh, they have a literacy trail or a storybook trail. Let's go use that trail with our kids before we head home. So I think that'll be a really good thing and a positive impact to the community and the children as well. Any other questions from you all? Sorry, I've knocked off things.
So will we need to do a resolution supporting this if one presented at court?
Just a motion.
Are we gonna support, the question is, do we support it monetarily or just?
Well, they were just looking for somebody to maintain it.
They're looking for in-kind maintenance.
In-kind
Is that
maintenance.
what you're looking for right now, is in-kind?
And are you asking for a specific period of time, or is this indefinite, or just when?
Just for the lifespan of the trail, if
5 to 7
at
years?
some point in time that it is really bad off and needs tore out, I mean, you wouldn't have to maintain it anymore, you just have to, I guess, get rid of it, but we hope it'd be there for years to come. 10 years or so.
Court vote?
A motion? I'll make a motion that we do maintain all the area parks with your
County parks.
project, county parks.
Thank you all very much.
We have a
Thank you.
motion by Mr. Rancho, second by Mr. Turpin. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you all for your
Awesome.
time. and
Yes, thank you so
effort here.
much.
Thank you.
What?
Nothing.
You're being set up.
I know. There's a joke coming down the road. I think. Oh.
We just thought you might donate all the rock and mulch.
Okay, next on the agenda then, I've got, you all have received a draft copy of our budget, and we'd like to present this as our first reading to the court. And for those of you who are watching via Facebook or here in the courtroom, we will, following our fiscal court meeting, we will have a budget workshop that you're certainly welcome to attend. But I just want to present this to you, and then we'll try to schedule our second reading, then maybe at the next court meeting or as soon as we can. You need to
There's
address
other
this?
things that have to be considered, that don't have to be considered, that need to be done with this first reading. We have to, of course, have a vote on the first reading, am I correct? And then you need to vote on standing orders also. They have to be voted upon.
Do we do that right
Separate.
now, or when we
Yeah, no, we
pass
need
the-
to do it right now, yes.
So first, we need permission to advertise the second reading of the budget.
First reading.
No,
First read.
it'd be
This is the
second.
first reading.
This
We're
is
going to
the first
advertise the
reading.
second reading.
Not the first.
No?
Yeah, but you don't have to, you only have to advertise the second reading.
So just make a motion to
Motion.
advertise whatever's necessary.
Permission
for
to
the
advertise, and we got to advertise in the newspaper and then whatever we do on
Mm-hmm.
Facebook and everything.
After it has been reviewed by
DLG.
Department for Local Government.
Motion.
Second. Motion by Ranshaw and a second by Strunk. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, and then, as Joan was saying, there are standing orders that need to be approved. Examples. if you wanna go through.
Standing orders are what can be paid without court approval. It has court approval right now. So things such as payroll, insurance, benefits, utilities, debt service, et cetera, those things can be paid, and you're basically voting on those right now.
Can we, I guess in discussion, I'll talk about that. My question is, we didn't get a list of those.
It's on the standing order. It's on the sheet.
I don't have a copy.
Oh, okay. I can read it. Let me just read it.
You don't, I mean, yeah, that's fine.
Well, the Fiscal Court of Pulaski County, in accordance with state law, hereby orders recurring expenses for salaries, benefits, and utilities to be paid when due. Also, all debt service, capital assets as bid when delivered, heavy equipment bid items with license and registration fees, constructions, drawdowns on construction bids, and postage.
Okay, so that includes like lease payments and
Yes.
stuff like that?
Correct.
So, and now, can we change that throughout the year if we
No.
want to take something off of it? So that would stand for the full
That'll
year?
stand for the full year. And the thing is there are very few items that DLG will approve as a standing order.
Okay.
Motion.
Second. Motion by Wilson, we have a second by Strunk. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Thank you, John. Okay, next then, we want to ask permission to advertise for a public hearing on the purchase of single axle dump trucks from Worldwide Equipment.
Worldwide lease program, we have to advertise.
The Worldwide Lease Program, we have to advertise to, I guess, because the purchase price is going to be in excess of the threshold, so we have to have a public hearing, is that correct?
But it will be an interest-only loan.
Yes.
And it's basically the same program we're using with our tandems, but it's going to be they're making it available single axles, which you all know are much more convenient to get in and out of your districts and the places we need to go to than the big trucks. So we're basically just going to be shifting our fleet a little bit to include the single axles whenever we roll the other ones over.
We had a discussion, when
we started this program 3 years ago, when we started this worldwide lease program with the triaxles, in the process of this, they sent out pricing of single axles. I'm just wanting you all to see that, but either way, we've got to have the permission to advertise for the program, whether you all decide staying with triaxles or looking at possibly one or two of our older.
So we're just doing this to find out the pricing on it, and then we'll
Yes,
decide
yes, yeah,
if we want.
it's
I
totally.
think the single axles will be harder to sell too. Because your trucking companies, like your big rock haulers, they want triaxles.
Yeah.
When you turn around to resell these.
Yeah, when talking to Frank, and I agree with you, Mike, I like the triaxles, but in talking with your truck driver and your operator, we're in a need of some single axles that may go at any time. So, if you want to do a combination of both, we can, because we used to do 3 triaxles, but if you want to do 2 in 1, or that's up to you all, but we have to advertise in a local paper and show that when we go to our hearing at the DLG.
we have to decide during the hearing exactly how many trucks we want to.
Yes, you decide that but determines a dollar amount.
We're not gonna buy more trucks than we currently have. This
No.
is just to replace the ones that we are currently leasing.
Yeah, the program actually, if you look over, it pays for itself because maintenance free. I just, in talking to Frank at our maintenance department head, he's like, gosh, we're really in need of a single axle because there's a couple of them, they're bits and pieces about to go at any time. So I just wanted you all to have the option, because you know what you need in your district. We're just here to help facilitate that. But it's permission for the lease program. To advertise for the lease program. That's all it is.
Okay.
Motion to advertise.
Second.
Motion by Strunk, and second by Ranshaw. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. One other item, we have an opportunity, and we've talked about it in here before. down on Boondocks Road. It's a Forest Service road, and they are willing to pave it if we take it into the county road system. Problem is, it does not meet the specifications for our county roads, specifically item number 9 and 10 in our administrative code. So I would like to suggest that we put a moratorium on the qualifications for inclusion into the county road system on items 9 and 10. We can do a period through the end of the year. That way it gives us time to get that transitioned and taken care of. If one of y'all would.
Can you read what items 9 and 10 was?
I don't have that in front of you. You have that, item 9 and 10, Dan?
Yes. So qualifications for inclusion in the county road system, that's part of our admin code. Of course, items 1 through 8 are subdivisions, family dwellings, public access, garbage, EMS services, those things that you consider in taking a non-conforming road in. But items 9 and 10 actually makes it to where it's a conforming road, meaning that we can't take in a non-conforming road. And a conforming road, as you know, it's either concrete or asphalt. But this allows you, knowing the needs of your district, if you have a non-conforming road that you can consider to take in, that may have a bus turnaround, may have a house that's newly built.
Will it be blacktop to
No.
our specifications?
No.
No, but it'd be blacktop. But after that, we maintain it.
Yes, it'll just be for gravel, a non-conforming road, which is a gravel road that you want to add, but that doesn't mean that we have to blacktop it.
But you said the forestry's gonna blacktop it, right?
Yeah, they have told us, assuming that we're getting the right information, that they've got grants available, that they will pave that road, but it needs to be taken into the county before they will. And so it's just kind of cart before the horse type situation. So, it violates our policy, so we'd have to suspend that in order to do it, but they are willing to pay for it or it doesn't get done. I don't think Mike's going to pay for it.
Who has the money to pay for it?
Forest Service, it's going to a boat dock they're developing down there. The Forest Service has agreed to, they've got grant money to pave roads, but it can't be their road. It has to be a county road. And they've agreed to take their grant money and pave it, but they have to give it to us. It's already a government road, but it's owned by the Forest Service.
It's just we maintain it after that.
Yep, we'll maintain it after that. And to reach the blacktop has to be put down to our specs.
It does have to be put down that, so it will be conforming after they put down the blacktop.
It will be put down to our specs.
Motion.
Okay, did you get that motion, Lisa, just to put a moratorium on qualifications for inclusion of roads into the county road system, items number 9 and 10, until December 31st, 2021. That suit you, Jason?
Second.
A motion by Turpin, second by Wilson. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Brings us to our department reports. First is in the road department. You've got copies of your road work request. We have let's see, it's a speed limit sign on that one. You don't have any on yours, Mark, do you? Speed limit changes.
Motion. Second.
We have a motion by Wilson, a second by Strunk to accept the road work request as presented. Any further discussion?
My biggest concern is, once again, my list is up to 50 items. And having just one backhoe driver and truck driver to try to knock all this stuff out is a big, big task. And I just want to, I don't know, 579 roads, 300 roads of county mileage. I don't think one backhoe driver and one truck driver can handle all this work. That's one of my biggest concerns, so just want to make sure that, that we take a look at specifically what needs to be done, because there's some big jobs on that list that needs done, so just want to make sure we're aware of that.
We're definitely trying. We're out there working every day. It's just, I can say that every district is that way. They just don't have everything listed out on road lists like this.
And of course, my other concern is being the grass cut. So, such a big district, one person cutting the grass is, so hopefully when we get the tractors back up, we can get a part-timer or something to come
We've
out.
got, right now, there's one of them with a cracked wheel that's waiting on warranty work, and then we've got another one, I think, Frank told me that there was 2 of them down right now, basically. So 2 of our spares, so we're going all we can right now with what we've got. Any further discussion?
One other item, Judge, is 5,500 gallon of coal patch oil.
Let me just finish this motion here then.
Well, I thought it was all there.
So, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. You said a patch oil, is that what you?
Motion.
Second.
Motion for 5,500 gallons of patch oil, we have by Strunk and a second by Wilson. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next then will be 911. Aaron, you with us?
Good morning. Had a few things. 911, I have had one employee, he's took another job. I need to move him from from full-time to part-time. That's Josh Hawk.
Josh Hawk,
Yes.
a motion to allow that change.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Strunk, second by Ranshaw. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
SRT, they suffered the fire they had a while back, and they're asking to bid out. It's not a big truck, I guess it's like a 450 or something like that, dually. They're asking for to advertise for bids on that. The money that will pay for that will come from the insurance claims. They've already told it out, I think, a couple of the trucks. So they just need permission to bid that out.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Ranshaw and a second by Strunk. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
What about the building and stuff up there, Aaron? Is it fixable or what?
Talking to Doug, last he heard from it, was probably going to be a complete tear down. They brought some contractors in trying to get the smoke damage out and stuff like that. And from what he said, that they don't think they'll be able to do that. Probably tear it all the way down and
Start over.
back up. It was a bad fire, I think. The only trucks they was able to salvage was the ones they had out currently that weren't in the station. So it was very devastating to them. They took a big hit down there. A lot of equipment got saved, which was fortunate. But again, trucks are very expensive too to replace. They are still operational. They're really operating with the same quality of service. They may have to have some of the fire departments assist them on calls with just with the trucks essentially. But they, like I said, they're able to save a lot of the equipment, so they're still 100% operational and functional right now.
I know on that issue, they had a lot of volunteers that came in from other counties, and I know Doug mentioned it. So I just want to say thank you to those other counties and the local volunteers that came out and helped them clean up and salvage what they could.
Oh yeah, they spent all day Saturday moving trucks around and cleaning it up. So thanks to everybody who participated in that. One more thing, I've got 4 of the road trucks that needs to be surplused. I think Frank said there's 2 triaxles and 1 roll-off and 1 tractor, correct?
Make a motion to surplus all four.
Are they, which ones are they? I mean, what's,
They're the two, this is the four worldwide.
This is on the lease program.
oh, this is the lease program?
Yes, and we
Oh,
have to
okay.
take them to Alabama
Oh.
here shortly to be part of that.
That auction's in June, I think, 1st of June.
This is part of the program where we don't have to pay, we actually,
We'll get
hopefully
checked
will
back.
end up making money on these. Yeah.
We have twice.
Second.
So who made the motion? Strunk, and then second by Wilson. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Motion carries. Thank you, Aaron. Brings us into our treasurer. Joan, you've got a few things to present here.
I always have something. Okay. The items I have today, as of this minute, would be the bill list for the month of May.
You know, I've got a copy of your bill list. Any questions?
Actually, I did have one. Are we done with this bathhouse down at the park? I think we done
Dan?
spent about 125, 150.
It's almost complete. It's, we're waiting on a few
I mean, we,
finishing touches there.
do we know how much this bathhouse is costing us? Because this $65,000 worth of more expenses on this bill list, and every month there seems to be more and more expenses for a bathhouse down at the park.
Come on.
What was this budgeted for?
When we originally looked at it, we took bids, but anywhere between $35,000 and $45,000. But what you're finding out, because of the pandemic, some of the material costs went up. But now in this bill list, there is one of the big roads that goes to the trailhead was washed out, and that's a substantial price in there too to repair that with the tile and stuff.
That's in there with the
Yes.
bathhouse?
Yes, park.
It goes back to what we were discussing earlier. We have a very limited number of characters to put on that line.
But it looks like,
I know.
I mean, if you add everything up,
I know.
we spent $150,000 on the bathhouse.
And in addition to that, the Corps of Engineers, I met with them, and there's possibility of a failed septic system that's not perking correctly. And so we've had to replace one already, and we're in the process of testing now the water, and we're waiting to see what Frankfurt says. So the wonderful thing about the park, it generates tremendous revenue, but there is some expense from time to time.
I'm just worried about, I know the park generates revenue, but the question is, are we covering all of our expenses with this revenue? And I don't see that happening.
We had, years ago, when they did the cabins, we still had monies available too in that grant. So some of that's coming out that can only be spent at Pulaski Park as far as that grant.
And we apply for another grant, right?
Yes, we submitted it. You know, and here's the thing, Shottville Park, for example, we found a big water leak over the hill. And so we dug the baseball field up in places, and so instead of having to try to find it, different leaks, we just said, hey, we need to replace the whole water line. And then the bathrooms, I was out there the other morning, somebody had left the faucets running, so we're going to put the faucets that have timer on it. So everything we're doing, it's leading to more efficiency and less man
And that's
hours.
all in that bill list under park,
Yes, it's all in that under park.
so it ain't all on the bathhouse.
I know that's one expensive bathhouse if it is.
Well,
Not
we had-
all a bathhouse. I thought maybe
We
you
did
were
a
putting
water
in
line
jacuzzis
replacement at
and-
Woodstock inside as part of that, and at White Lily as well, just the other day. So when you see parks, that's a lot of times everything we've done.
I just thought you were putting jacuzzis and
Oh,
saunas
yeah.
in the bathhouse.
Yes.
Just moving in, wasn't you?
Gangsta girls and
If so, I was gonna go test it out.
And we just put, for example, Firebrook too, I don't want to leave them out, new picnic tables for that new shelter we just finished.
I talked to Jeff yesterday about getting some picnic tables for White Lilies. So.
And I give kudos out to the Pulaski County's Area Technology Center. We had supplied the material prior to this pandemic, and the carpenter department called me and said, "Do you still want these picnic tables?" And he said, "We're ready to build them." So we're real fortunate for that school and what they do as far as our parks and activities. So if you go to Firebrook Park, know that those picnic tables were made by Pulaski or Somerset School Area Technology students.
I think we need to give thanks to Morning Rotary Club that also put some benches in.
Some benches and some, out there.
Yeah. So the Morning Rotary Club donated some benches for Pulaski Park.
Yes.
So.
Motion to approve bill list?
Second.
Motion by Strunk, second by Wilson. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
The next item I have is the bank reconciliation for the month of April. As you can see, we are quickly running out of year.
Motion. Second.
A motion by Wilson, second by Strunk. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
The last item I have at this moment would be fund transfers. This basically constitutes what will be transferred from occupational tax. They're all from the general fund. Excuse me. One is to 911 for $353,375. The next one is to the jail for $201,563. And the last one is to the road, and it is for $300,000. Excuse me.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Rancho, and a second by Strunk. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
I think that's all I have at this moment.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, with no further business, we would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Oh,
We need to go into executive session on real estate issues.
okay, well, you want
Motion
Do
for
we need to-
executive session.
to rescind that motion?
Yeah, to make that to executive session.
We have a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing real estate. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Strunk. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, if you all will bear with us while we're in executive session, we'll go in our back room. We'll try to make this as quick as possible and okay, so we need a motion to come out of executive session.
Motion.
Motion by Ranshaw. We have a second. Second by Wilson. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, no action was taken in executive session. We have, Martin has done some research, I think, while we were in our discussion. Want to share something?
I didn't want to say anything until I confirmed it, but you all, earlier, there was a motion made and passed. Bear with me just a moment. Thank you. There was a motion passed regarding the requirements to take roads into the county road system. and you all voted to place a moratorium on some of the requirements, and that's a part of the administrative code. Specifically, it's section 9.3 of the administrative code, which has qualifications for inclusions into the county road system. So what you wanted to do would require an amendment of the administrative code, which requires, it's an ordinance, so it requires two readings and advertisement and all that. So you can do that, or next month is when the time when it's got to be, if you're going to make any amendments to it, that's got to be done anyway. So you could withdraw that motion and vote and strike that from the record, and then next month, when the new administrative code is addressed, you could address it in that.
So who made that motion and second? Was that Wilson and?
Turpin made the motion, I second.
Turpin made it.
Yeah.
So we did a motion then to rescind that
Okay, I'll
motion?
make a motion to rescind that.
So we have a motion by Turpin.
Second.
Second by Wilson. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Appreciate you catching that. Certainly we don't want to get any.
Yeah. And there is one more item.
Trouble.
You had sent me over an agreement, a workforce interlocal agreement to look over, and I've done that. I don't know if the court's seen.
Well, I received that on Friday, and just so you all know what this is, it's a Workforce Investment Act interlocal agreement among the 10 counties of the ad district. And they said we needed to have this approved in court. It's basically amending one that we previously did, but the document was 20 pages. You all already had your packages. I didn't want to throw you a 20-page document here on court day to try to read and approve. So if you don't mind, we'll do that at the next meeting.
And I've looked at it, it looks fine. I'll get it back to you, and it's a multi-county. I forget how many counties, there's 10 or.
10 of them.
Yeah, 10. So I'll get that back to you. It looks fine for you to get it to the court to look over. And while we're on the subject of interlocal agreements, I had prepared at your all's request some additional interlocal agreements related to the occupational license fee, the insurance premium tax, and the comprehensive fire protection services with the city, all of those being with the city of Somerset. I distributed all those to you. I hope you've seen them. And I didn't know if you wanted to take action on those today or not. They're kind of sitting out there and never.
I would recommend that if you all have received those copies and seen them, if you're comfortable with it and you all are comfortable with it, I would say time is of the essence to go ahead and try to get that going if it pleases the court.
I don't know if anybody wants to talk about what they do, but they're long-term agreements. They're agreements that we've already had in place that were either getting ready to expire or needed to be renegotiated with the city. So
I can talk about them.
okay.
This was something we came up with. We were trying to put our revenue sources together for the next foreseeable future. And we had a great discussion with the mayor, and we came up with these locals agreements that extends out some agreements, or most of these three agreements have extended out the occupational tax agreement that we have now for an additional 20 years. It also allows the fire fund to stay solvent because any future annexations on the city part, it still allows the county to keep the current insurance premium, which funds the fire departments, in place on any property within the county that was annexed. So we still get the same percentage for the next 20 years. And the other one was EMS agreement?
No,
The fire protection.
Fire
and
protection.
insurance premium tax.
Yeah, and it also keeps all the different fire departments set in the local, so they don't have to be renegotiated and territory add on to fire departments, which could slow down the service of the fire departments to get to certain fires and emergencies. And this is all covering the next 20 years of revenue. So it locks it in, it helps the other cities in the county with their occupational tax issues. We don't have to worry so much about losing occupational tax, and hopefully through the gains of the next 20 years, they will actually gain in funds also. So this was a good thing for the county. All these agreements are set to the point where not one entity can get out of these agreements. It takes both the county and the city to agree before there's any changes to these agreements. One entity cannot just send us a letter and say we're out for 30 days. It takes both entities to agree. So this is a great thing for the county, the city. We can move forward and go on and both be successful with the revenue incomes.
And I would note also that all three of these agreements would have the same 20-year time span, so that everything is consistent. And the occupational license fee agreement continues to support SPEDA and the economic development that they're doing. And also that agreement, just like the others, includes any properties that the city has annexed in previously, I think back to January 1st of 2020. So that's the essence of, as you all know, that's...
So I want to personally thank the mayor on behalf of the court and stuff like that to sit down with us and work these issues out, so.
I'll say this to add to it, and that was very well presented. We've been working on this for several months now, and it's not something that happens overnight. It's a lot of thinking and talking and discussions. But what you're seeing right now, and I'll give credit to our court and also to the city council and the other municipalities all across our county. You're seeing right now cooperation at many levels, like we've never seen before, and you're seeing the results of everybody working together and collaborating. So it's a good thing right now that we're putting this, that always seems to be a distraction in every administration, dealing with how the money is going to be taken care of. We're putting this to bed, so to speak, for the next 20 years, and I appreciate all the work you all have done. I do, like you said, I appreciate the city council and the mayor and all of our cities that have pitched in and given their input as to occupational tax and how we're all going to work together and move forward in the future. And it's good times right now. I'll share with you that our occupational tax revenue has gone up $500,000 during this time of COVID, and that's net profits included in that. So we're doing things right here in this county, and we're a lot better off than a lot of people around us in different regions. So let's keep doing what we're doing. Let's keep pressing forward. We've got brighter days ahead.
These agreements are very forward-thinking by both the county and the city, and I think a good point's made. It's not a distraction to, down the road you can move forward and get other things done. So it puts all these issues to bed.
It allows us to plan for our future.
Yeah.
This is an awesome time and one of the best since I've been here, that the city and the county's working together, and I want to thank Alan for that too, and thank Martin. Martin, you've done a lot of work on this, and I appreciate it.
Yep.
And mechanically, you're welcome. Thank you. It's my pleasure. It's what y'all pay.
Even Dan even worked hard.
But mechanically, how this works now is if you all pass these today, they will go to, I'll send them over to John Adams over at the city, and they'll be presented to City Council for their consideration, and then if they pass them, then we send them up to the Department of Local Government for their approval, and then they come back and they get filed in the county clerk's office, and we're good to go.
So we have, do we have,
Motion, we go into the agreement?
You want to do each one separately?
probably.
Occupational license fee agreement first.
Second.
a motion by Strunk, second by Ranshaw. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
Insurance premium tax.
Motion. Oh,
Motion by Wilson, second by Ranshaw.
yes, second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Nah.
Aye.
Any opposed?
And finally, comprehensive fire protection services.
Motion.
Motion by Ranshaw, second by Strunk. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Nah.
Aye.
Motion carries, and we'll pass those on to the city for their approval now. So thank you all for,
I'm sorry I didn't get this brought up before. I'm getting older, it takes me a little longer to get up now, so, but I'm sorry I didn't get that brought up before somebody made a motion to adjourn.
I appreciate you doing it, because I know we've been wanting to go ahead and get this finalized, so thank you. And thank you, Dan, for all your work on it, because I know you did do a lot of meeting and negotiating to make this happen.
Hey, I'm just the M in team.
Right.
What?
On that note, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Wilson, second by Strunk. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Let's